It's almost impossible to recognize a bad pattern in others that you yourself is not doing. I've made it a habit of asking myself, where am I doing the same bad behavior that this person exhibits? Where am I doing the same exact thing? And it's a humbling experience. I just look and remind myself that I'm doing the same exact thing. That's why I can recognize the pattern. And when I go to tell them, I tell them, look, I'm struggling with the same situation. What solutions have you found? And it just works to change others and to actually find better solutions. Because now, when you're asking them for advice and you recognized something that is a bad pattern, and if they are not really oblivious, they are not really oblivious to the problem, they're gonna tell you what they found, tips and tricks, things that work, and you're gonna reinforce everything that works. You don't even have to tell them a better solution. But if they ask, you can tell them, like, look, I have some things that work as well. And you can tell them that's the way to do it. You don't just tell them, look, this is what's wrong. That's bad. That's really not coming from a place where you want to change them. That's really from a place to telling them that you're better. So I'm struggling with this problem as well. What are some solutions that you found? And they're going to open up. They're going to be open to interpretations. They're going to be open to other solutions. They're going to be open to all of these things. Just because you are listening, you are there to tell them, look, I think you have something of value because you've been struggling with this problem. And they're going to listen and they're going to talk and they're going to be open. And you are going to be heard as well. If you have a better solution, you've primed them to listen. You've primed them to actually open up. And because you've listened first, you might not even have to say anything because they're going to come up with the same solution that you did. Don't assume immediately just because someone is doing and exhibiting a certain problem, a certain bad behavior, that they don't already have the solution that you are giving. Don't assume that. Understand that if I ask myself, where am I doing the same exact thing? You can actually tell them, look, in relationships, I tend to have less self-respect than my partner. And that really hurts me in the long term. Even though my partner might feel better because I'm treating them way better than I'm treating myself, they're going to see that. They're going to see that they're being treated differently than I treat myself. And they're going to notice that I don't really have a good communication when it comes to my emotions. And they're going to assume that I don't really feel a lot of bad things. And because they're going to do that, they're going to treat me badly without even knowing. And they're not even going to realize that they're trampling on my emotions. And when I tell them this, I go like, I've seen the same pattern in you. What are some things that you do to actually combat that? What are some things? And they might say like, look, I try to tell everything to my pattern. I have this thing in my head all the time is like, opening up is not that bad. Opening up is not that bad. And opening up is better than letting other people not know what you are feeling. And yeah, that's exactly how you change people. It's not by telling them, oh, I saw something that you're doing badly. I should change you. I have the solution. Sometimes you don't even have to tell them at all because they already know exactly what you're going to say. They already know all of these things. The problem is that they don't do it enough to get rid of the problem forever. And that's the point. After you've told them your story and how you're struggling with that situation and asked them for advice, because you've recognized the pattern, you thought about yourself where you were doing the same thing, and now you check to see if someone has better information than you. Don't assume just because you saw them once doing that pattern or 2 times or 3 times Don't assume that they're doing that all the time. Don't assume that that's something that they're doing more than you. Understand that they might be doing it less than you because they have better solutions to that problem. And once you do this, you will gather more useful advice and information about the things that you are already doing, the negative things that you are already doing. I've been struggling with this. I've seen that you do the same. What are some things that you can teach me about how to struggle with this? You seem to have more experience with that problem. It sounds funny because it is, because it's hard to recognize and hard to say sometimes. But if you ask them that way, they're going to open up. They're going to tell you exactly how they've been dealing with. And if they don't have a solution, if they don't really have a solution, or they don't know that's at fault for their problems, and they recognize in that moment, oh, then you can tell them something that resembles a solution or just a story. You can tell them something that helps them, but without understanding what people are going through, and if people have solutions already that work maybe better than yours, you yourself are never going to grow, and you cannot help them change because you've never understood them fully. You have to first understand and then prescribe something. That's how it works. It's not about noticing something and then fixing it. That's not how it works. You have to make sure that the person understands that that's a problem. And you don't make them understand. You ask them. You ask, look, I've been struggling with the same thing. How's your experience? Have you found any solutions? And then afterwards, if it's necessary, telling them your experience and your solutions. Don't always assume that your things will work for others because they might not. You might be different and quirky and a freak of nature or whatever it is. But understand that whenever you tell someone that they're wrong and you have a better solution, that's just to make you feel better. It's not to fix them. It's not to actually change them. It's not to help them. It's just ego gratification.